Hey everyone, Maestro here. I am the football enthusiast. Let's talk football. Okay, so Antonio Conte, it's official. He has officially been relieved of his duties at Tottenham. Long story short, yeah, he is no longer there. And in this video, I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the whole situation. If I think it was the right decision or not, and where I think both parties should be going on from now on, what their plan should be. So, do I think this was the right choice? Yeah. 100%. I don't deny/doubt Conte's abilities still as a manager. I still believe he is a top-class manager. I still respect him in that way, 100%. But ultimately, it doesn't matter how good you are. If your heart's not in it, it's just not going to work out. And I do not believe Conte's heart is in it anymore. Hearing him talk after the Southampton game, and not just the Southampton game, but throughout the last two seasons about the board, about the club and about the project itself that he was somewhat trying to be a part of at Tottenham, it seemed he never really wanted to be there. It seemed he didn't feel like he was in it with his heart. And I always thought that this choice right here of him being relieved of his duties was always inevitable, and it's come now. Now, of course, there's one thing to decide. Look, I think he should have been fired. Maybe fired is a bit of a strong word, but relieved of his duties is probably a bit more soft. We'll say that. But should this have happened this late into the season with Tottenham essentially trying to make a top four charge? Yes, I do. I don't. Look, there are some rumors out there that supposedly he doesn't have the players anymore, doesn't have them on their side. They want to change themselves. They want to play in a way that far suits to them, that Conte does not provide. Of course, you'd have to imagine that they themselves are somewhat maybe offended or just put in the wrong way with Conte's comments after the Southampton game and in general for the past year. So with the players, I feel like being in that situation with Conte, and Conte himself being a bit too much, I should say, with his press conference antics and just the way he's been speaking about the club and the way he just feels about the club, I don't think they were going to make top four if he stayed, because I don't think their players would be in the right state of mind to do so. So yeah, I think it's the right choice to get rid of him, and I think it's the right choice to get rid of him now, because if you do that and you bring a solid interim that just allows the players to play and be who they are, I genuinely think you have a better chance. I'm not kidding. Maybe that sounds a bit crazy considering you want to have a manager, but I assume that this will only be for a couple of games. They should have someone in very soon. Whether that's Nagelsmann or anyone else, we don't know. But I just think as a whole, this is the best choice. And also, this is the best choice for the future itself. Because with Tottenham, there's no denying it. They are a club that's been in the Champions League quite a bit recently. And, of course, the step up after that is the title, isn't it? You get top four and you want to get it consistently. Then after that, you want the trophy. That's what you want, and that for sure was never going to happen with Conte. And I think the problems, like when Conte first joined, I was worried because he is a top class manager, and he was joining a side that needed renovations, and I thought he could be the one to do so for Tottenham. Renovations within their mentality, within the squad in general, and he could be able to do that. I specifically remember, comparisons with him and Arteta, and that, Arteta is out of its depth when it comes to going up against Conte, but look how that turned out. But many things, I think, came into factor that Conte didn't rely on. I think Conte thought the board would be more supportive. He has signed a number of players, yes, 100%, but those signings, I feel like, are kind of like Plan C, Plan D signings. You bring a set of players to the board. You say, this is my priority. But if you can't get him, we can get him, and him, something like that. And I think that was the case for him at Tottenham. He did bring in some players. I like Bissouma. I like Jed Spence, which he never used. And Bissouma's been bad, to say the least. I believe Højbjerg joined when he came in. Maybe that was wrong. And of course, Kane never dropped in form under Conte. There was that concern, but Kane was still Kane with Conte. Son was still Son with Conte, etc. But yeah, in general, I think Conte misunderstood the project at hand, the situation, and how big of a job this was. Because the Tottenham board are the ones that come out of this looking the worst. Because I personally think Conte will be perfectly fine. He'll get a job. It might not be a glamorous job, but it could be. Maybe the Italy job will be his. I'm not sure in some time, but Conte will be fine. The board, on the other hand, has taken a blow once again. They're seen as incompetent. They're seen as just not fit to run the club. And I mean, that, to be honest, for me, that was kind of already the truth way before this happened. So yeah, it looks bad for them. And in terms of what I think Tottenham should now do, Nagelsmann is I think the best manager that's available right now. Looking at the pool of coaches that you can bring in, with Tuchel gone to Bayern, I think Nagelsmann would be a good choice. Nagelsmann, yes, got fired, but he had a somewhat okay record. He was great at Leipzig. He's fantastic. There's a reason why Bayern wanted him in the first place, and he wasn't terrible for Bayern. He just wasn't a great fit for them. Could he be for Tottenham? That's for them to kind of deduct and kind of do their research. From what I'm hearing, Nagelsmann is in fact a target, but if he is to come, it would take a few screenings, a few interviews, etc., to kind of determine if he really is the man for the job. They seem to, as they should, want to take great care within the next manager that they choose. When Conte first came in, I imagine there wasn't a lot of screening, a lot of talking to Conte before he got the job, because it's Conte. He has a great CV. He's as good as you'd like of any available manager. So there was that, but they were reluctant to understand, and I think they just weren't in terms from the start with what was needed at Spurs, which was a renovation. The players they brought in, once again, it's a number of players, but just not to the quality that is needed for what Spurs want, which is consistent top four and a possible title charge. And now I kind of feel sorry for Spurs. They have to start from zero. There is the issue with Kane. If they lose him, that'll be catastrophic. But right now, they need to go again. That's what they need to do. Start the project again. Bring in someone that is capable of at least taking the helms of the project and getting it started. Okay, you don't look at United. Solskjaer was never ever going to be a manager that could produce a title for United, a Premier League title. But there were some places, the signings of Fernandes and Shaw and a few others, the contracts, it helped them, ignite them, and it is still relevant for United to being good to this day. So they need to bring on someone that can at least start the engine and go from there. And that includes a mentality change more than anything, I think. Understanding that what they want to achieve needs to be the goal, and anything else is not good enough. We need to keep improving, and that is the Premiership. So here's the thing, though. I don't think they'll do that. If I look at a club like Newcastle, who are way off it right now, yes, but with the project that they seem to have in the making, I would say they are more likely to win the title before Tottenham, because that board, and that's what it all comes down to, that board at Tottenham, I do not trust them in one bit. Look, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I don't really care much, but just from a neutral point of view, I do feel sorry for Tottenham, and I think with that board in place, I do worry if they really ever will win a title, a Premiership title in the next 10 years. But 10 years after that, who knows what happens? And who knows what happens next year? It's football, it's crazy. I mean, look at Arsenal. We never saw this coming. But it is what it is. Look, I think this was the right decision for both parties. Conte will be fine. I think he'll get a job soon. He's still a top-class manager. Still think he's a top-class manager. It was a bad fit. And Tottenham, the board especially, need to look in the mirror and understand that this cannot happen again, and bring in someone that is there for the project. That's my thoughts on the whole matter. Please let me know what you guys think down below. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Please subscribe for more. And please take care of yourself. Have a great day. Cheers.